If you sense your business is at risk of losing its top talent, then you need to move fast on your employee retention strategies. Because trust me when I tell you this, we will leave. When you're a valuable person to a company, there are going to be times where their employer thinks that things could stay running the way they have always been running without creating any change. And by changes, I mean trying to keep their top talent. Hi guys, welcome to my journey to becoming a millionaire. My name is Chris Mo. If you don't know me, I do $1 to $2 million in construction sales. Got a 6-figure income, some passive investments, and I got nothing to sell you. You see, I make these videos so I can document my life towards becoming a millionaire so my grandchildren can know who I am, and hopefully this can inspire others to start their own journey as well. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my experience on why I've seen so many talented people besides myself leave companies. Because employers are now finally realizing that good work is hard to find. So without further ado, let's get started. In today's world, 50% of Americans change jobs every 2 to 5 years. But why? Well, to be quite honest with you, I believe that the majority of that blame goes on the employer. They just don't know how to keep their top talent. Speaking from personal experience, this is why I have left so many companies. In the last 5 years, I've changed companies about 10 different times, and it wasn't because I was fired. I have never been fired. I always quit. I quit because I had outgrown them. And this might be the case for a lot of you. You see, employers are now finally realizing that in today's world, it's hard to find good work. Because when those good, talented people are happy in the place that they work, they're not looking to change up. So how do we keep people like myself and like many of you to stay within a company? So if you're an employer, listen up. Now, I only like to speak about the things that I know, so I'll only talk about my personal experience. I've thought about this topic for quite a while now. And while there might be several different reasons why employees leave, I believe that there's really only 3 reasons why someone would leave a company. The first reason is because they're just not good at what they do, meaning they're not given the proper training. And when someone's not good at what they do, then they're just gonna be unhappy. In my industry, the retention rate is about 10%, maybe even less. In every training class that I've been in, usually only 1 to 2 reps stay within a company after 90 days. Why? Well, because they realize how hard this job really is. But to be quite honest with you, I don't think my job is as hard as people make it seem. It really comes down to the employer. You see, I have been blessed to be trained by a really good person and went through personal one-on-one training. But if it wasn't for that training, I would be struggling today. I've gone through a lot of training class and a lot of sales training mostly to go ahead and improve on my skills. But in reality, if it wasn't for me seeking that training, it's up to the employer to train their employees to make sure that they're doing their job properly. You see, most employers think that, hey, I'll go ahead and hire a bunch of these guys, train them for a week, and they'll know what they're doing. That's not how training works. Being in the personal development world, I have trained personally people on just fixing their mindset and have realized that it's not something that you can create a course and they'll be done in just 90 days. No, training requires ongoing training, meaning every single day you have to train. It's all about repetition. When you repeat the cycle of just training and repeating what you're saying and repeating those things and actions that you do, that's how you get better. But most employers don't know that. They think that, hey, you'll go ahead and go through this 2-week training and you'll be good to go. And they'll send them to the sea and they'll drown with the sharks and that's it. That's not how you train people properly. You have to go ahead and create repetitive training where you go ahead and bring them in, see where they're lacking, fix them, and then send them back out and constantly keep on doing that. Because not a lot of people are wired where they can go ahead and train themselves. So sometimes employees leave just because they're not getting the proper training and they feel that they're not bringing the value and they're not going to go ahead and create change, and ultimately it leads to them leaving. The second reason is because you still haven't hit the like button and the subscribe button. Please, it only takes a second. Much appreciated. Thank you. The second reason people leave is because they don't feel valued. You see, I have many friends that go into their jobs and they just go, just to get their paycheck. That's it. When you ask them if they love what they do, they don't. They're unhappy. They feel like they're just there to clock in some hours. And that is majority of employees. And when you deal with top talented people, if they feel like that, they are going to leave. Most people nowadays, they want to feel valued, like they're contributing to the company. And you, as an employer, have to go ahead and make them feel as if they are valued, or else they will leave. You see, people don't realize that working at a job every single day, 5 days or 6 days a week, however it is much that you work, it can get repetitive. So there are times where you need to go ahead and make their lives a little bit more exciting, where they feel as if what they're doing is bringing value to the company. And not only value to the company, but value to themselves. How do you show this employee that they are valuable in your company? You have to go ahead and be the one to do that. But how? Well, let me give you some examples. The first one would be just changing the company culture. There was one time where I was at a roofing company where they had Taco Tuesday, meaning if you were in the office, they would go ahead and pay for your lunch and you guys would get tacos. Not a lot of companies do things like this. It's little things like this that create really big changes, that makes a lot of people feel valued in a company. Creating a company culture can be completely different for everyone. I would say get everyone in that company and try to go ahead and get everyone's intake. That way you can create something that everyone feels valued in. Another example would be just plain recognition. You see, most people aren't told that they're doing a good job, that they did this and they did that. Creating some challenges or some, employee of the month type of thing, or whatever it is that you want to go ahead and do, whether it's give gift cards to the best rep or give something away that makes them feel as if they are bringing value, as if their job is worthwhile, people get happy over that. It's all in the little things that can make any employee, whether it's top talent or all the way down to your secretary, making them feel valued is how you keep your good people. Because we all know when you have to hire someone new and you have to train them, everything that the last person was doing, it makes your job work, it makes your business suffer, and altogether, it's always best to just keep your good people around. Lastly, the best way to keep your talented people is just to pay them properly. If you have employees on an hourly scale, be aware, because nowadays most people feel as if their hourly is a reflection of who they are, which isn't really the case. But still, if we know this, then that means we have to go ahead and do different things to make sure that this person feels valued. Psychologically speaking, if people feel this way, wouldn't you want to do something about it so that this person feels good? You need to pay your employees more. And I get it. There's going to be times, especially for small business owners, where you just can't afford to pay somebody a little bit more. But there's other ways around that. Now, this can work for your business. It might not work for your business at the same time. But how about giving people incentives, like bonuses? In order for a business to be successful, then they have to reach certain metrics. If you don't reach those metrics, then your business can go under or not make profits or not make the revenue that you want to go ahead and make. In order for you to reach those metrics, your people have to go ahead and do what they have to do. Now, the hardest part of getting someone who's getting paid on an hourly scale to do something that they're not being paid to do, it's really hard. For small business owners, there are things that you can go ahead and do, which is giving people goals. If you do this amount in sales, you do this amount in sales, you do this amount in sales, then you'll get a bonus. Now, I know you don't want to do this every single month, but altogether, it's a give and take world. Bonus can mean a lot to your employee, and not everyone's going to be wired that way, and that's going to go down to your whole entire hiring process to see what kind of people you want. Most people work if they're going to get something in return for it. That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. By providing bonuses or giving people a higher pay, then they're going to feel as if they're valued more, especially people who have been in a company for a really long time. Now, if you can't pay your employees more and you can't give them bonuses, I believe most of the time you are probably paying them properly. The problem is that the person who is the employee just doesn't know how to keep track of their finances. So maybe one of the things that you can do as an alternative to those two is giving people personal finance class, finding somebody that teaches personal finance, having them sit in a day, going over their personal finances so that they can know how to budget, and that way they feel as if their money does go a long way and they're not just living paycheck to paycheck. Because there are times where a lot of people are making good money, they just don't know how to budget themselves. So when they're lacking in the financial aspect of their life, they feel as if they're not bringing value in their company, they're going to blame it on you. When in reality, it's just the employee just not knowing how to manage their money properly. And that's the case for a lot of people. Teaching someone personal finance not only is going to make that person feel valued, it's going to put more money in their pocket. There are times where they can still leave even if you do all of this. However, would you rather try to keep that talented person by showing them that they are valued here, or just take a gamble and hope that they don't leave? Speaking from personal experience, there were multiple times where I just left the company because of pay. But there were times where I also left because I just didn't like the company culture. People leave for multiple reasons, but I know for a fact if any of those owners that I work for sat me down and asked me, what do I have to do to keep you here? I would take that so much more into consideration that I might think twice before leaving. So if you fear that your top talent will leave you, then maybe it's time you sit them down to discuss all this. Because again, we will leave. That's it for today's video. If you did find value, if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and make sure that you guys follow me on Instagram so you can keep live updates of my life and my journey. And I'll see you guys next time.